The first time the idea actually came to me was when I was doing my master's at St. Martin's in London. This was 2012-2013, and I was doing a really interesting program there, and we were free to design our thesis project. It could be anything we wanted as long as it was related to the creative industry. You had to do something that would disrupt the social order. So it was really cool. It was like almost like a revolutionary kind of a program. I loved it. The friends that I made there I'm still friends with. The professors were amazing, and really that's when the idea came to me. And I don't think if I wasn't in that environment, I don't think I would have thought that that's possible, because they really made you feel like pick something and just do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start. You just have to like make an effort, and you just have to go for it. A lot of people from Pakistan, especially girls and women, will relate to this. We've all kind of grown up in a sort of protected environment, and I think that there are a lot of advantages of that too, and I really do appreciate that as well. But when I was at St. Martin's, it was the first time that I realized that, you know what, you have to break out of your comfort zone. I remember the first time we were in class, the first lesson that we had, the professor made this diagram on the board, and they made this like square and they wrote comfort zone, and then they made an arrow outside of it and they wrote, this is where the magic happens. And that is, if I had to sum it up in one incident at St. Martin's, that's what it was. And that really, through the course of the program, the 1 year that I spent there with interacting with these really creative and really innovative people there, it just really struck a chord with me. At the time, what I decided to do was, I decided that the art museum project was too big of a project to do just for that 1 year program. So I decided to focus on 5 artists from Pakistan, and at the time the drone strikes were a big deal in Pakistan, and it was a really hot button topic, and not much had been done about it. People had just started to kind of protest, and so I decided that there were actual living artists in these war zones, and I really was interested in telling their stories. So my thesis, it wasn't just an art exhibition. I sat down with these artists, I got to know them, their stories, I interviewed them, and then I compiled all of that information as my final project, and it was one of the best experiences of my life, and that's when I decided that my career is going to be in the arts industry. That when I graduated, and my thesis was very, very well received, and I was really grateful for that and for all the artists who participated in my thesis. I'll never forget them. There were 5 artists: Sajid Khan, Sajad Hussain, Sulaiman Khilji, Sulaiman Mengal, and Shakila Haider, and they will always have a special place in my heart. The importance of museums in countries and cities is paramount. Like the kind of advantages and the sort of cultural benefits and just the energy that museums and these kinds of institutions create, they're not tangible, but they are so important in a society. And I think the full effects of it, people see as they develop, as the culture develops, and I think that's the main aim here with Como, is to develop the culture, the museum-going culture, the culture for the appreciation of arts in Pakistan. We have some of the most amazing, the most talented artists in Pakistan, the modern artists who I just adore, Bashir Mirza, Sadiqain, and then some of our contemporary artists who are some of the best artists in the world, and it's a shame that these artists have such recognition abroad, but people in Pakistan don't really know that much about them. Like Rashid Rana is like at par with an Anish Kapoor, but I want to create that knowledge and that appreciation in Pakistan for our champions of art. I think art is the highest form of communication, and whether that is literature or whether that is film or whether that is art itself, visual arts, I think people can really express themselves in ways that they can't in using any other medium. So hopefully with Como, I want people to come in and feel that connection with the work, whether you feel anger or whether you feel joy looking at a work of art. The point is really to feel. And I think that when you put an intention out there, the universe, I do believe that it brings everything together in the best way to make that happen. And I do think that everything you put out there adds to it, and nothing goes to waste. Nothing goes to waste. Every effort, every step that you take towards that dream, it adds up. It adds up, and then it multiplies, and then it comes to a point where you don't even realize, like, how is this happening? And everything just sort of comes together as you have envisioned it. And with this, I really do believe that that's how things happen. Everything just came together. Everyone was so supportive. I'm feeling so much gratitude for everybody who helped me on this path. And it was the effort of everyone and the belief of everyone in my vision that really made it manifest itself. There were moments when I thought to myself, have I bitten off more than I can chew? How do I think that I'm going to pull this off? Of course there are moments like that, and everyone who has a dream that is bigger than themselves, I'm sure, has moments like that. But you just have to power through those moments and keep your mind on the prize and just focus on what you want to achieve. And of course it takes a lot of hard work, but I think that when you're doing something that's really truly coming from your core, I think it does feel more effortless in the end. It's a very strange feeling. It is genuinely, it is surreal when you've been envisioning something and you've been visualizing it, and it just feels like that moment that one day this will happen, and when that day actually comes, it does feel strange. It is surreal, and all that's left at the end is just appreciation and gratitude. And really, it feels like it's bigger than me, and it wasn't me, it was everything that brought it to fruition. Everything came together, and it just feels magical. It really does. You know how people always say that the journey is better than the destination, and it's such a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason, because it's very, very true. And those 5-6 years that I spent working on this just feel like such a reward in itself. That experience is invaluable to me, and I'm just grateful to everyone who played their part, and there's so many people who were so supportive, and this is really like a gift back to everyone and back to Pakistan and to Lahore. If I look back at myself in 2012-13 and where I am now as a person, I feel like the core is always the same. You don't really change who you are. I just think that life is made up of a series of highs and lows, and it's how you kind of deal with the lows and how you ride the highs that really defines you. And I think it's just having gratitude for everything that you've been through, because I wouldn't be here if I hadn't been through all of that. So I'm genuinely grateful for everything that has led to this moment.